Welcome once more to Betty Healthy Kitchen. Today we want to make pumpkin soup, and this kind of pumpkin, well, it is quite okay. This is the season for pumpkins, so sometimes it is very good to make recipes of what is in season. Now, as you can see, I've already washed my pumpkin, and when you're washing it, you have to concentrate on these ridges. You have to make sure that you wash them. This brush here, I had to scrub in between. This is especially used here in the kitchen, so you have to keep it also very clean. So I had to concentrate on these ridges, because in between the ridges sometimes you find that there's sand, or maybe some small insects that when you're cooking is when you come to realize, okay, there's something coming out from the pumpkin. So you have to concentrate on these ridges, and using something like this or whatever that you have that you can use, you concentrate on that, brushing it very nicely in running water. So after that, you cut it into pieces. Okay, after cutting it to pieces, as you can see, you have to remove the seeds and this inner pulp. And this inner pulp, and we normally use it to spread in the cooking pot that you're going to boil your pumpkin. You have to make sure that the inner part of the pumpkin is clean. You take the next one using a big spoon or maybe a knife. You remove this inner pulp, like you can see what I'm doing, and make sure that everything is completely removed from the pumpkin. Come to the third one. You scoop everything from the pumpkin. As you can see, it is very well clean. Nothing has been left inside. You can even, yes, you can see it is now clean. Now, this inner pulp, you spread them at the bottom of the pot that you're going to use to boil your pumpkin, so that when you're boiling the pumpkin, it does not stick at the bottom of the pot. As you can see, this is what I have done. You just put it there, ready for cooking. And then you have to cut the pumpkin into pieces. We have to remove these seeds. These seeds are also very healthy. In fact, sometimes you even use them to make salad with them. After they're cooked, you can even later on fry them with a little bit of salt, a little bit of oil, maybe a little bit of salt, and then you use them to make some salad. They are very, very healthy. Now, we cut these into pieces. We don't have to peel them. You just cook it or boil it the way it is. We just cut it into small pieces, as you can see, like this. And since it is very hard, you have to be very, very careful with your fingers. You cut them into small pieces and arrange them in the cooking pot. I can remember during the days our grandmothers never used to use such pots for such kind of recipes. They used to use the clay pots and boiling it for even more than 3 hours. So in this case, ours is a little bit different. We just cut them into small pieces, as you see me doing. Taking care of my fingers, you just place them. It seems just arrange them in a way that they can fit all. If they don't fit all, we don't have to cook everything. After removing the pulp from the pumpkin, you spread them at the bottom of the pot. Like in my case, I'm using this pan to boil my pumpkin. They have to be spread there so that the pumpkin does not stick on the pan. Though this one is a non-sticky pan, but it doesn't. Nobody knows what kind of a pan the other person is going to use. So we also don't peel the pumpkin. You just boil them with the peels, with the cover, not the peels, the cover. So you arrange them in such a way that every part is going to be inside the pot, inside the pan. Like you can see what I'm doing. You arrange them very nicely like that. Arrange, arrange, arrange. Go on. Yes. You can see it's going to fit. And then the rest we can also cut them into small pieces so that we get enough space for our pumpkin. This one should go underneath like this. The next one, we cut them into small pieces so that we may arrange them in the remaining spaces we have in our pan. Now, when boiling a pumpkin, you don't use any salt, no oil. You just boil the pumpkin, and in fact, you are not even supposed to add any water because the pumpkin itself has water, the natural water inside. If you add water in the boiling pumpkin, it is going to come out pulpy. So you might not enjoy what maybe you want to make. Okay, like in this case, you want to make a pumpkin soup. When it comes that it cooks that pulpy, it's okay. But there's some people who like to eat the pumpkin, like maybe they use it for breakfast or maybe they use it for evening meal. So in that case, you are not supposed to use any water. The only thing that you can use also, which is also optional, you can use salt or you just don't use anything. Just put the pumpkin in the cooking pot, cover it. Let me finish up slicing up this one. Yes. And then the last one. Our pumpkin is already sliced. We try to arrange them in a way that they are going to fit in our pan. You can see it is coming back out nicely. Yes, it is done. This one is a little bit big. Then the one is going to come here. Wow, good. Then this one here, and then the last piece. The last piece, where are you going to go in? Right, you go inside there. And then when boiling the pumpkin, you have to cover it. You don't leave it open. During our grandmother's times, they used to use polythene papers or polythene bags. In that time, they never knew that this is not healthy. I have to wash my hands shortly. Paper dry it. They never knew that these polythene bags were not healthy. So in that case, I'm going to use my baking paper to cover it. Some of them even used newspapers, and they never knew that the newspapers with this black ink, it comes into the food. This newspaper sometimes is touched with different kind of people. You don't know what somebody touched before reading the newspaper. Some of them even go to the toilet. They come out of the toilet without even washing their hands. Then you just take the newspaper, you cover your food with it. During that time when it's cooking, the steam that goes to the pepper falls onto your food, meaning that you are eating bacteria. The bacteria in the ink and the bacteria from this dirty pepper. So you have to use something clean. Like in my case, you see, this is a baking paper. I'm just rolling it out from this pack. It is still very clean, very new. Then I also like using rosemary. This rosemary, it is clean. I had already watered it and the leaves are clean. I'm the one who planted it, so I know how it is. You just place the leaves there on top. It is just for that aroma. It is going to bring that aroma on in our recipe. So you just cut some little pieces. This is a scissor for the kitchen. I don't use it anywhere else. It is just for the kitchen. So if you see me using it, don't maybe think that it is something that I use for shaving the hair, or maybe use it somewhere else, or maybe cutting clothes. No, this is specifically for the kitchen. When I finish using it, I have to clean it and put it back where it is supposed to be. That is enough with the rosemary. Now we have to cover. When covering, make sure that each and every part of the pumpkin in the pot are well sealed, so that steam will remain inside when the pumpkin is boiling. This is the steam which will be coming out of the pumpkin. This is what is going to use to cook or to boil and make the pumpkin cook. You cover it very well, like you see. All the edges has to be covered well, or if you like, you can even use your knife to stash in all that. Make sure that each and every part of it is covered very well. As you can see, remember this pot that we are using is not sticky, so our pumpkin is not going to stick. Now we are done with that. No salt, no oil, no any additive. The only thing that we added there are the rosemary leaves, just for that aroma. Then you take the lid, you put it there, you put it on the oven, and then you switch it on. It is going to cook slowly but sure, making sure that by the end of the time, maybe around 20 minutes, it's not going to take very long, 20-30 minutes, it will be done, and then it will come out a little bit crispy. Now, as you can see, our pumpkin is already boiled, and as I told you, you don't have to put any water in the pumpkin. The pumpkin has to boil with its own water. So you can even see down here, we even have the water from the pumpkin. And if you try to prick, you see it is already cooked. And if somebody just wants to eat it the way it is, you can just do it, because it is not so soft. It is crispy, and that is what I needed for my soup. So as I said, if you're not supposed to put any water, that is why it is that crispy. If somebody puts water inside the boiling for the pumpkin to boil, you find that it ends up becoming so pulpy, and the consistency is always not the best. Now with this soup, we want to make something special also. This one is minced meat, as you can see. And then in this minced meat, what ingredients are you going to use? This is white onions, already washed and peeled and washed and cut into small pieces. And this is the red onions. And then I also have here the colored paprika. We have red, yellow, and green. That one will go in our meat. And then apart from that one, we also have already mashed ginger, and these ones are garlic. I've already washed, peeled and cut them into small pieces. And then lately we are going to have our coriander. These ones are also, you have to wash them very, very clean, because most of the time you find that in the coriander there are some kind of there's some sand, because they grow on sand. So this is what we are going to use. What you're going to use to garnish our soup. Apart from the plant ingredients that we are having here, we are also going to have, most of them are powdered. Like this one, we have the powdered coriander. Here we have the powdered turmeric. We also have this curry powder. These ones we are going to use in our soup. So, and then to add on top of that, we also have cream of coconut, and we are going to use coconut oil to fry our soup. Okay, as we said, we are going to make something to garnish our soup. So here I have this minced meat. We have to fry it first. Now our minced meat is fried, and we apply our minced meat using coconut oil. I'll just put a little bit of it. We have to make it a little bit brown. Because it was very fresh, it has some sauce inside. We have to make sure that this sauce, we dry it up. And then make sure that you turn it, stir it very nicely and evenly, and each and every part has to cook very well. So it has a little bit of juice or soup. This one we have to make sure that we fry it very nicely until it is over. We need to put some oil. To make our onion fry very well. And make sure that you turn it very well, evenly, so that some parts don't get burnt. You don't need to use so much oil. So much cooking oil is also not very healthy. So you keep on turning it. You can see it has already started turning a little bit brown. Some a little bit fire. And next I'm going to use these ones. the garlic. We use garlic inside there. Normally I like to put the garlic in the middle so that it also gets a little bit of oil. It also gets to turn just a little bit brown, not so much. Normally when you put the garlic with the onions, you find that the onions don't turn so much brown or they don't get burned. Now I can smell the garlic. It is, the aroma is good. Smelling really nice. You turn it, and then later we're going to take our red onions. Also we put them there. I like using a lot of onions when I'm cooking. I'm sure there are some people who also like doing that. So it helps to give the food some aroma. So inside here we have the white onions or the yellow onions and the red onions and garlic. Now what are we going to put next? Now we are going to have this powdered coriander. Just a little bit of the powdered coriander inside. Powdered coriander. You turn it evenly inside the onions. You can see the color. I've already started turning some nice color. And then we are going to have our curry powder. Always make sure that you use a spoon so that you may not overuse the ingredient that you are using, because when you pour it like this, it might come out all of it and you will definitely spoil your recipe. That one I close and put it on the side. We go on turning. There's something I want to show you that we are going to do with this. Coming just right now, very soon. And then next we are going to have the ginger. The chili, still its time is coming. This one you can just very nicely. It is already soft, as you can see. I reduce the heat a little bit. Good. And then we have our turmeric. Now the turmeric, we also don't use so much of it because, yes, that one is just enough. Keep on stirring. And I think our onion is now ready. I switch off the fire. And then I'm going to take something to transfer this fried onion in. This one you're going to put into use later on. And then in this pan we're going to fry our minced meat. we put a little bit of oil. Make sure that you turn it evenly. Each and every part should cook evenly without other parts getting burnt. Now we have to put just a little bit of black pepper. Just to give some heat. Put it on the side, and then we put some salt. That's just enough. Onions. These onions we prepared for two recipes, one for this minced meat and the other one we are going to use in our pumpkin soup. Our minced meat is looking nice, especially the brown color. If you feel smell the aroma is also there. Just cleaning my hands a little bit. And then we add some chili. We have this red and green chili. For those who don't like chili, it is not a must. This is just an option. It is very optional. You can either use it or not use it. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. This is Himalaya salt. Just a little bit of it, not so much. Otherwise, we spoil our recipe. And inside here, we are going to use our coriander. Just a little bit of it. In fact, I'm going to use the whole of this coriander. Yes. And we put on the side. Wow, look at the color. It looks lovely. Some people are already salivating. Yes, this is a nice color. And then finally, we put our mixed paprika. Just look at this. Just have a look at this. Wow, the color is, wow, appetizing. It looks so appetizing. I just feel like I want to have a taste of it. Let me just see if my salt is enough. Good. Maybe I add a little bit of chili. And with us here, we had this broth. The broth will come inside here. Just a little bit of it, not so much. Our meat is ready, as you can see. Now this one you can use not only with the soup, but in case you want to use something different, you can even use it with rice or maybe chapatis. It is a recipe that can not only be used with the soup, but can also be used with something different. As you can see, our meat is ready. I just have to clean the area that I'm working. I always don't like working in a our meat is, like you can see, the minced meat is ready. So we put it on the side, and then we see what we're going to do with how we're going to make our soup. Just cleaning the and that one is done. We cover our blender and the onions are already inside. What we need to add inside is only these Knorr chili cube. Let me take a knife to open it up. Yes. Now this one we're just going to drop inside the blender, and then it's going to blend with our pumpkin. Meanwhile, our coconut oil is also cooking. Sorry. The brown particles that you see on the side, these ones are the cover of the peels of the pumpkin. That's enough. And then this one is going to be transferred to the pan. As you can see, I switch off the fire, and then make sure that you stir. Wow, the pot was a little bit hot. You stir. This is our pumpkin soup. In fact, it is just ready because the onions were already fried and they were already cooked. The pumpkin itself was boiled and cooked already, so you don't need to leave it on fire for about 5 minutes or so, and everything is ready. Just make sure that the consistency is uniform. I just take you have to stir it, because otherwise it will jump on your face. And then we have to clean our pot, because anything when we are cooking, whatever we are cooking needs to be very clean. You clean the working area because of now inside here. What are we having in our soup? Inside this soup, apart from the pumpkin, we have the already fried onions. The onions, we had garlic inside and different kind of ingredients. The turmeric was inside there, the curry powder was inside there, the paprika, coriander, the powdered coriander was also inside there, and don't forget we also had some salt, and I can add maybe a little bit of salt. That it always left clean, and stir in your soup. And as you can see, our soup is almost ready. What we are now left with is this coconut cream. I'm going to take a new spoon to use with our cream. Just take a little bit of the cream, put it inside, and this one you also have to stir evenly in your soup. Now we have the coconut oil, and now we have this coconut cream in our soup. And our soup, as you can see, it is ready. The consistency, it depends on how somebody wishes it to be. You can leave it as thick as it is, or you can make it more liquider or more oops. And now our soup is ready, and it is just as easy as that. You don't need so much time. Now our soup and our meat is ready. What now we need is just to prepare ourselves to eat. It is just soup garnished with minced meat with paprika inside. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more of this kind of recipes. Now with this recipe, just to remind you, you can use this soup to eat chapatis if you like. You can use it for rice also, or alternatively just a piece of bread that will also go with it, and your meal is ready. You're most welcome, and thank you for watching me. Thank you very much. We serve it. That is how we serve our soup. And with this soup, we also, what we are supposed to garnish it with, this is our minced meat prepared with coriander or paprika, and coriander is also inside here, and a little bit of chili. This is how it looks, and then it is ready for eating. Yeah, guten Appetit. Yeah.